What? I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you. I hold on. We haven't done F1 in a month, and we don't know how to do an intro anymore. I guess I don't know where he's going, but
Working.
no, audio's not working.
All right, let's do the same round.
That works.
Welcome back to the 305K. I'm here with Jackson Lang in New York. It's great to be in person for an episode here. Ribby's trying to get into the episode as well. It's been a long time since we've had a race. Fair to say that. Maybe too long. Obviously, there were unforeseen circumstances that canceled a couple races, but now we're back racing and we are in the US with the first US race of the year in Miami.
Yeah, it's a okay race. The track's always kind of been scrutinized, but it feels
Mhm.
more like a kind of like a Vegas, where it's like more of a party rather than
Yeah,
racing.
for sure.
It kind of was like almost the modern intro of Formula One in the US. Like obviously they
Yep.
lost it before, but it was like
Yeah, it wasn't as much of a scene. Yeah.
now it's like Miami party capital. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
just. But I mean, we had drawn Orlando in his first win 2 years ago, which was
Yep.
big. And then,
Obviously, yeah, Oscar won last year. It's been a good track for the McLarens the last couple of years. And obviously, huge track for Lando, like you said, it was his first win. I think, in truth, it doesn't necessarily cater to him because that win had a lot of other things going on. It was a VSC that kind of gave him that victory. So it's really all to play for here. And Ruby's getting really excited by that too. He's super excited for this race. But like you said, it's a big scene. You see these posts where they're selling like $700 lobster rolls and like the experiences. So it's a lot of racing. It's a lot of other stuff too.
yeah, it's like half racing, half
Hmm.
party, and
Hmm.
almost.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, that was not great, and it's honestly not one of my favorite tracks. Like you said, it's not great for overtaking. Although I thought we saw a decent race there last year, and I assume we'll see a lot of overtaking with the yo-yo racing that we've had all year. The backstretch as well is very long. Hmm.
Where it was like, was it Hamilton at like the turns? Where I don't remember.
There was a situation where Sainz tried to get past Hamilton on the last lap last year, and just had the most audacious move. Wasn't even close to getting it, and just kind of crashed into him. So it does kind of cater to late braking. For the most part, though, the track is pretty tight. It's kind of windy, and it's a half street track essentially. It's built in a parking lot, so the walls are pretty close, which can make for a little bit of frustrating watching because you just see people unable to get by.
On other news, Turkey is back on the calendar. We
Yep.
were mentioning it. Haven't been Formula One fans since it was last on the calendar, so
Yeah, a little bit pretending here, but obviously, it's fair to say that the consensus is very positive on Turkey. And you watch old races, and you do see the moves that happen at Turkey. Seems like a nice track, and I think compared to a lot of the tracks that we have on the calendar right now, a little bit of change is good. We've had a little bit of
circuit bias.
street circuit bias, just struggle to find tracks that cater to modern cars. So,
Just like typical racetrack and added back to it feels like
mhm,
it almost gives hope to tracks like Imola, even that maybe in the future they might have some kind of a comeback that brings
yeah,
tracks are dead.
and this is starting from 2027, so it's starting from next year. This will happen.
So like I would be interested if they replaced like some of the races that got canceled.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We have another 3 week break after Miami, which is awful, really bad. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Um, but like we said, there was a 3 week break before this race, and with that came a lot of development time for the drivers and for the teams. And obviously, it's hard to make any predictions specifically. We've heard a lot of buzz about Ferrari, though.
Yes. What they're replacing like half their car or something. It's gonna like look totally different. That's not common
Hmm.
in general. It's a new regulation now. It's like
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is something to be said. They were the second fastest team relatively comfortably. I think McLaren kind of had their foot in the door in Japan from what we saw. But Ferrari are comfortably P2 in the constructors. And I like the initiative to go after it.
yeah.
There's chance for complacency because they looked quite good besides the Mercedes who were kind of just miles in front.
I just don't see like running away by 40, 50 seconds like we saw
This is true.
in the
Yeah.
Max Verstappen upgrades there in 2023. Like,
Yep.
they're not necessarily far off if these upgrades are effective, I'd say as well. Like,
Mhm.
they very well be competitive.
Yeah, I agree with that. And what I will say about Ferrari is I kind of take all this with a grain of salt because in the past we come in with these big upgrade packages, and then the upgrades get brought to the car, and all of a sudden we're like zero point 0.5 seconds behind where we were to begin with. So upgrade is kind of a term that I am a little bit scared of as a fan, but it's good to have a little bit of hope. And I think that right now, anything to kind of break the Mercedes stride is going to be good.
Yeah, I think keep them on their toes, and I think McLaren are bringing some upgrades. I mean, whenever you have this long of development, like stuff's gonna happen. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I think hopefully we'll get a good race. I don't know.
Mhm.
I've just waiting for
Yeah.
racing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and to be fair, it's something that I don't want to say it's a new start because obviously there's data being worked from, there's original performance that we saw in the first three races that we're kind of basing it off of. But there is going to be a change in the order, I think, if not between one and two, between the rest of the field. You know, we're going to see teams switch up and how good they are, which once again makes our predictions almost meaningless. Exactly. So we're going to see how it goes, but there's a lot to look forward to. Once again, we have a lot of new storylines that are going to come out of this. F1's kind of keeping us on our toes here because we don't know where the season is going to go.
They changed. I mean, there's been so many like arguments about energy changing.
Yeah, especially after Japan with the Behrman crash.
Yeah, so changing some energy regulations. I mean, this is almost like useless info because we're just like kind of talking here, but there's a term called super clipping. Basically, it's like whenever you are using full throttle, but you're not like getting energy base or you're not like burning energy. And apparently, they went from 350 kilowatts to 250. So take that information as you will not really.
Yeah, we're kind of just saying stats for that kind of thing. I tried to get my hands dirty in the whole world of F1 engineering for one episode, and that's about all I could do. I think that um, the thought is what I'm really concerned about here. You know, it's obvious that they're addressing the issue in some capacity, and at least it sets a precedent for more changes if there's bigger issues down the line with the regulations.
Yeah.
hmm So we have those stats. There were changes, and we'll see if there's a visible change on track for the teams.
Yeah. Will be a bit less or something, or it's like if you get an overtake, you're not going to get overtaken on that because there's two like decent sized straights on this track.
Yeah.
Very well, like just.
Yeah, and a couple DRS zones as well. So
that's true.
that's true. Oh my gosh, whatever you call it, longer straights you can push the past. Yeah, exactly. I'm losing it. It's been way too long. Exactly. So as I said, we don't really know where we're going with these predictions or how right they may be, but I think we might as well get into them.
Yeah.
So I still look at the Mercedes here. As much as I want Ferrari to be all of a sudden in the driver's seat up ahead, I don't really see it as a feasible possibility. So I am sitting between the two McLarens, and then I really want Kimi Antonelli to continue to succeed. But I think realistically, George Russell is probably going to bounce back here. He's been a strong driver. He had a decent race here last year, and I think he's going to pull out pole on Saturday.
Okay. My predictions are stirred up already. He has
Yeah.
Paul, so gonna change it up. I'm gonna go Oscar Piastri. Success at Miami, McLaren success at Miami.
He did win last year as well, yeah.
Showcase at Japan.
Yep.
So I just think they're gonna continue it and probably be fast, but I think Mercedes will be up there.
Yeah. Well, and obviously that was your original prediction, so.
Yeah. Points. I guess I'll take it. I got Alex Albon, which might be absent.
I was thinking about that actually.
It might be stupid, but he was big here last year, and I feel like I usually use a trend where if they got points here last year, then for some reason they'll get points this year. So P18 2 laps down at Japan doesn't mean anything. I think it's meaningful.
Oh gosh, I think I was kind of doing this off the dome, and then I was like, oh, there's a perfectly nice, not cheat necessarily, but I'm gonna go Pierre Gasly, because really the Alpines have looked next best behind the front four. So I think that they're very much going to be in the fight, whether it's Gasly or Colapinto. I'm generally assuming that Gasly is going to be the stronger out of the two of them. So I'm going with Pierre Gasly for my price points.
Yeah, it's probably good that. I'll take big flops. I think it kind of anchors on that. I'm gonna take Frank Colvin. So which might not be smart because they can, Alpine's have been good, but I think
Wow. Yeah, I think if there's one big flop that'll get your like curse from last year back on the road, it would probably be Franco. He's really just grasping right now for any performance to kind of hold on to. He's had an okay season. He got points, but he's really struggled since joining Alpine. So
yeah, you want?
Yeah, I'll go my bold prediction. And this one I was. Oh, I didn't do a big flop. It's been too long. My big flop, I was thinking about Albon for my big flop, but I decided to pivot. And I'm gonna go with his teammate. I'm gonna go with Carlos Sainz. And once again, this isn't one that really has any formal reason for. I just kind of get the vibes.
That's kind of like glory of big flop. That there's no
Exactly.
reason that like a driver's gonna do that. You kind of have to go.
You kind of have to go with your gut. Exactly. So I'm going big flop. I just don't think Carlos is gonna have a good weekend. The Williams have looked okay.
Yeah.
They haven't looked great. This has been a disappointing season so far for them, considering that a lot of what James Vowles was building up to was the 2026 regulations, and they haven't gone quite as well as he might have hoped. They've been okay, but they haven't been ahead of Racing Bulls and Alpine consistently, like I think they would have wanted to be.
Yeah. You can do hot take.
Yeah, so I'll go hot take. My hot take, I think, is semi slam dunk, like not quite, but considering one specific team, I think it's kind of unfair. But I'm gonna go at least one team has a double DNF. So two guys go down. And obviously the layup there is Aston, but maybe they've improved their performance and who knows.
You're probably gonna game them. I'm gonna go a complete shot in the dark and a kind of a hope. I think Cadillac somehow has a good weekend and maybe it's them in the points, maybe it's a decent qualifying finish. But it's their first home race as a team. They've been like very bad, but
yeah,
why not?
Yeah, they've been like 2 seconds off the pace. Maybe there'll be 11 DNFs and somehow they'll find their guy in there. I don't know. That is solid bold prediction there. Because kind of a long shot. So I like that. You went for a good one. I went for kind of a layup, kind of a cheap one.
Okay. I will take Kimi Antonelli. Mercedes are going to keep their pace. And they're not just going to magically fall off a cliff. I don't think. And it would actually be really funny if we came to the review and then all of a sudden they were like, P7PA like Ferrari all of last year.
Yeah.
Sorry. But Kimi Antonelli, good weekend, podium.
All right. P3. It's a little bit tough here because I'm sort of thinking ahead. I'm trying to game this out, but I'm going to go Charles Leclerc for P3. I still think Ferrari are going to be best of non-Mercedes teams. And so I'm kind of having to play a little bit of a game here to make sure I get both Mercedes in the podium. But I do think Charles Leclerc is going to get P3. I think he's the best of the. Maybe he'll have conflict with Lewis. Maybe he'll struggle with Piastri, but I think he'll get up on the podium again.
Yeah. You want P2? You want me to take it? You get the win.
It's up to you.
All right, I'll take P2 on one. I got Oscar. Wait. Oh, wait, no. I'm definitely going to be screwed here, but I got to take Oscar Piastri. And I'm definitely realizing that I'm like absolutely fried for this. But I don't know. I think he's gonna have a good weekend, but I don't think he's gonna win the race. But
now you're built. Yeah. I could be nice, and I could go George Russell P2 and give it back to you because I knew you have George P1. But unfortunately, the predictions championship is kind of cutthroat. And right now I'm losing by a fair amount, so I can't really do that. So, like I said, I left space for two Mercedes on my podium. And considering that I'm going to have the first pick for P1, I'm going to go P2, Kimi Antonelli. Because I think that, obviously, I think George is going to have a bounce back weekend. I think Kimi's obviously still going to have a good weekend. P2, still quite good. But that sets me up for P1. George Russell winning this race. leaving my podium at George Russell P1, Kimmy P2, and Charles Leclerc P3. I really like George here. I just think that it's all building up for him to get a bounce back race. Kimmy's, I think, lit a fire under him pretty much because now obviously Kimmy has the championship lead. But I have to say, now I feel like there's something magical that's going to happen where George is going to get a DNF or something and miss the podium.
We're gonna see another like George Russell edit.
Like the Pierre Gasly edit.
All right, P1. This is gonna play Tucker's favor. I'm gonna go Charles Leclerc because I really do because I don't think Lando's gonna like. I just don't
See,
think
now
he's gonna be on the podium.
it's a win-win weekend for me here. Then.
Best prediction of my life, and or I just want to eat.
Yeah, well, either way, I think I'm happy.
Yeah, probably. So,
Uh-huh. But I think there is a slight chance that Ferrari is back on the horse and kind of in front of the field.
yeah, maybe the horse will be depressed, right? So it'll be like back up.
Yeah, exactly. Back up on the logo instead of crying. Um, so we'll see. Maybe it'll be picturing joy, like this little advertisement of Mr. George Lang's book. Perfect coffee table book, actually. We were setting up this room to record. I made sure to get in frame. That's to show our expertise and competence. Exactly. Yeah, but anyways, picturing joy available on Amazon.
Yeah, so.
I don't know.
I think
I got
that's
it
where it is.
somewhere.
Advertising.
But once again, we're going on tangents.
Yeah, we do this.
Anyways, it's good to have F1 back. I need to calculate the scores for predictions championship because I think you're beating me by 15 right now.
Okay.
Just about. It will be a good weekend.
Somewhat on.
I gave up trying to be actually bold and just going for what I thought would get me the most points and maybe game you into getting the least points. Yeah, exactly. But we're excited for Miami. Even though Miami is kind of a lukewarm track.
Yeah.
But it'll be good to have racing, good to see cars. So maybe we'll get another Lego race before the race. That would be a I think so. I also think that if I go into my room, I could probably pick out enough Legos to build a Lego car.
Tangents.
Anyways, yeah. But maybe Ferrari would do better than they would in real life.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching. Obviously, this is our first in-person episode. Hopefully not the last. Maybe I'll come to Pittsburgh.
I think Break.
Maybe I'll come to Prague in the fall.
That'd be unbelievable.
If you pay for the flight, I'll be there.
Oh.
Anyways, thank you all for watching. And we'll see you after the race to break it all down. Great to be back with F1. And we'll try and get something out in the long break before the race after Miami. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.